Hello, my friend. Steve Gamlin here with you for part 2 of the Motivational Firewood messages for the Brain Injury Alliance of Arizona's Survivors and Caregivers 2020 Virtual Expo. In case you've not had the opportunity to absorb my first video and were not part of the 2017 Rays of Hope event where I shared a featured keynote speech, here's a bit of an introduction to me and my style. Throughout my 16-year career as a speaker and an author, my focus has always been the same. Find the positive, be the positive, and shine a light so that others who may be feeling lost or stuck in the shadows can take even small steps to get themselves to a better place. I also use a healthy amount of humor in storytelling as well. And some of the lessons that I share actually come from a tiny rescued dog named Super Teddy, whom you will meet during this video. Yes, that's him. Yes, he is adorable. And yes, he knows it. One of the things I appreciate the most about working with the Brain Injury Alliance is their dedication to involving you in shaping this message. That was the case back in 2017 when I was there live for the Rays of Hope event. And it's the case here as well. So thank you for adding the bricks to the foundation. I really do appreciate it. Now, please understand, I can show up pretty much anywhere and begin sharing something positive. I even do it at the grocery stores when strangers ask me questions like, which barbecue sauce should I use for pork chops? I often wind up making a new friend, and my wife often winds up rolling her eyes and sneaking away saying, I'll meet you at the deli. We received some wonderful suggestions from you over the past several weeks, and I will do my best to answer them all during our time together. Also, right up front, please note, everything I share comes from my own experience and my research. Full disclosure, I'm not medically authorized to dispense advice or treatment. I've simply been the captain of my own ship, meaning I've been fully or partially self-employed for 3 decades. And I've landed on the rocks a few times over the years. And every time I've learned something to make myself better, stronger, and more resilient. I meet a new person who adds value to my life. I develop better habits, and I make my ship stronger for the next phase of my journey. Good? Great. I can't see you, but I hope you're nodding. Okay, here we go. The first question you shared to get us started. How do we care for ourselves when there is so much uncertainty? You know what? That's an excellent question. Right now, we are experiencing life in a way that most of us have never seen before. And it can be challenging to know what's okay and what's not okay, where we are safe and where we are not, and how to keep our spirits up and keep our eyes and hearts looking forward with hope. As I was putting this video together and I pondered that question, I was reminded of a quote that I've always loved, first coined by John A. Shedd in 1928. A ship in harbor is safe, but that's not what ships were built for. In the harbor, safe. Outside the harbor, oh, there are so many things that could go wrong. One thing there's never been a shortage of in life is uncertainty. Heck, please smile if your mom ever told you to always wear clean underwear when you were going out, just in case. My mom did. Essentially, what mom was worried about was you leaving the harbor and having something bad happen. I've known people who, no matter what I have decided to do in my life, responded by informing me of what could go wrong. When I started my DJ company in 1993, they predicted doom. When I decided to become a stand-up comedian and a motivational speaker in 2004, same response. Here's the thing. I still have a harbor that I can feel safe in when I need to. Otherwise, you'll find me out on the ocean, cruising with my sails at full mast. Do I occasionally get a rogue wave that tries to knock me off course? Yes. Do the winds ever blow so hard that I worry about my ship being smashed to bits? Yeah. Do I ever wish I listened to my mother and brought an extra pair of clean underwear? Yes. That yes is all in capital letters, by the way. But here's the bottom line. There is uncertainty in this world. There always has been, and there always will be. There will be people in your life who tell you to go for it every time, and there will be people who tell you to never, ever leave the harbor. And their advice is 100% correct for them. What I hope you will get from this message is that you need to make decisions on what you feel is best for you. Now, in dealing with the current circumstances and things like it, what you need to do is evaluate your situation and take all necessary precautions. If the local weatherman says a huge dust storm is happening today in Arizona, you don't go stand on the roof of your house eating a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You close your windows and your doors and you hunker down until it passes. Right now, many people may decide to remain in their harbor to let this storm pass. Other than necessary trips for groceries, medications, etc., I've stayed pretty much close to my own harbor. But what I'm doing right now is plotting out future journeys, going through all my gear, my riggings, shoring up my ship, getting rid of the dead weight that I no longer need so that I can go faster when I get back out there. This occasionally includes people who no longer add value to my journey. See, every day I wake up and I work on what I can be certain of. I'm certain that I want to put positive things in my own heart and mind. I am certain that I want to share those positive things with others, like I'm doing right now. I'm certain that I want to have meaningful connection or conversations with someone today, whether on the phone or social media. There are even times when a few minutes of this can make my whole day. That just made me think of what happened just a couple days ago. As I was sketching out ideas for this part of the presentation, my computer started to make a weird noise. And I had a Facebook tab open in the background. And when I tapped on it, I saw that my friend Grace was calling me. Grace is a fellow entrepreneur. She is in the beauty industry, and she also has her own 501c3 and is the person who encouraged me to create mine last year. By the time I answered the call and I was saying, hang on, I can't find my earbuds, we were already laughing. And that conversation, which lasted less than 10 minutes, made my harbor a happier place all day. What am I certain of? I'm certain there are people out there who, no matter what the weather reports say, will always help me find the sunshine on the other side of the storm. And will say things like, hey, when we get back out on the ocean, where should we plan our next adventure? So in these times of uncertainty, please choose to fall back on the things you can be certain of. You woke up today. There are people in your life with whom you can connect when you want to find some sunshine. That includes your Brain Injury Alliance family. And somewhere in your house, maybe even tucked away in the bottom drawer of your bureau, is a clean pair of underwear to remember for your next great adventure outside the harbor. That advice comes from my mom. She's pretty smart. Question number 2, and this is a really great one too. What do you do when you're having a bad day and you just don't feel positive? There are people out there in my own industry who say things like, every day above ground is a great day. I believe those speakers, whatever their intentions may be, are not telling the complete truth. Not every day above ground is a great day. Here's how I see it, with a slight twist. Every day above ground, which means every day that we wake up on the happy side of the grass, is an opportunity to make something good happen. It's a place to start. It's a launching pad. It's a little rock or a root we're clinging to as we look up whatever mountain we may be climbing at the moment. It's a tiny ledge where we stopped climbing yesterday. There will be days we just don't have the strength or the will to climb any higher. For now, we have a choice. We can stare up at the peak and keep telling ourselves all the reasons why we're not going to be able to get there, which is something we do to ourselves when we don't feel inspired to climb that day. Here's what we can do, though. We can sit on the rock or the little ledge wherever we've decided to hunker down, and we can look back down to see how far we've come and how much progress we've made. We can think of all the great people who have been part of our journey so far. Whether you're a brain injury survivor, a caregiver, a family member, a friend, or part of the Brain Injury Alliance team. You can look out your window today and find something beautiful in your view. You can go online and find something that inspires you or makes you laugh or feel hopeful. You can put on your favorite song or artist and play that music that makes your soul dance a little. My soul, great dancer. My feet, not so much. If your faith is important to you, you can open up whatever your good book is and find strength there. You can pick up the phone and call someone just to say hello. And if they ask, "How are you?" you can say, "No, it's really good to hear your voice." Or if you get their voicemail, just say, "Hey, just wanted to let you know I was thinking about you. And I hope you're having a really great day." Right now, it can be tough to get out there and interact physically with the world every day. And it can make us feel isolated or get us off our normal routines. But there's a beautiful, strong person inside you who knows the way to still get yourself out there, to connect even in the simplest positive way, even on days when you don't feel like climbing, when you don't feel positive, when you don't think you can make it all the way to the top right now, when you might even self-sabotage and slide back a little bit. And choosing these small positive steps can mean a world of difference when you feel like you're stuck on that ledge, unable to climb any higher, and when this happens again in the future. Often it comes down to focus and what we choose to look at. This can also help lead to the answer of the next question that I received. How do you make positivity a habit? Seriously, I love this question. Think of the habits you may have as part of your daily life. Do you have a certain way of tying your shoes? If you are the person who takes care of your yard, why do you mow the lawn in the pattern that you do it? Do you have a certain way that you make a sandwich or fold your clothes or wash the dishes? See, you've already developed so many habits during your lifetime, and much of our regular daily activity is already impacted by them. So how did you start? You just decided and did them out of necessity or because it was something you wanted to do. And then you just kept doing them. Eventually, they just became the way you do things. You can do that with positivity as well. As I was researching the deeper mechanics behind developing habits, I found an article that broke it all down nicely. And I'm very particular about how I explain things so that they can be understood and put into action. That's one of my habits. The website I found was developgoodhabits.com, and I will share the full link at the end of this presentation. Step 1, focus on developing one new habit at a time. This is so important. Have you ever seen someone on New Year's Eve blathering on about all the New Year's resolutions they're going to tackle, as though a magical switch is going to be flipped at midnight, and all of a sudden, the new me, in shape, eating healthy, making better decisions with money. Then you see them about a week later, collapsed face first into a pint of salted butter caramel over at Sweet Republic. They can barely lift a spoon because they went to the gym once and tried to bench press a Volkswagen. And they also blew their entire stimulus check on a pallet of toilet paper. This is what can happen when you try to do too much at once. Pick one habit at a time. Step 2, commit to 30 days of developing this habit. It might only take a few minutes each day, but you must commit to making the effort every day. Consistency is very important. Step 3, anchor your new habit to an existing established one. A great example of this comes from B.J. Fogg and his tiny habits concept. What you want to do is commit the very small habit and take baby steps as you build it. An important aspect of his teaching is to anchor the new habit to something that you already do on a daily basis. Here are a couple of examples. After I eat lunch, I will rinse my plate and silverware. And here's another. After I do laundry, I will put away my clothes. Now, see how simple it can be to attach a new little action to a current habit? That's how we grow. Step 4, take baby steps. Remember the example of my friend from New Year's Eve? If he had decided to take baby steps, he could have made his fitness and financial plans actually work. The key is to create a lower level of commitment to get started, as the behavior or time invested becomes a habit. Examples from the article include zeroing in on a micro commitment, like walking for just 5 minutes a day, waking up each morning 10 minutes earlier, eating one serving of vegetables per day. And here's one that has become a habit that I love in my own life. About 8 years ago, a fellow speaker inspired me to write down things I am grateful for each day. At first, I was thinking, I don't have time for that. But one day I sat down and did it, and it made me happy. And I decided that I would write down in less than one line each my favorite 3 moments from each day, things that made me smile. I've been doing this now for more than 8 years. Do I ever miss a day? Yep. But I'm still writing down more than 1,000 moments per year. And people still give me the excuse, well, I don't have time for that. So one day I recorded it. It took 38 seconds. You've got time. Develop the habit. Step 5, make a plan for obstacles. There will be things that get in your way or become easy excuses to why you can't build your habit on some days. The article mentions time, weather, money, not feeling like it, or even being self-conscious about it. And believe me, that last one has gotten me before too. See, at first, I didn't want people to know I was keeping a gratitude journal. Like, ooh, you keep a diary? You know what these people say now? That it's a habit, and it's made my life happy and successful. Hey, Steve, can you show me how you do that gratitude thing? What we need to do to get past our obstacles is this: create if-then formulas to keep us on track. If the weather is bad and I can't go out for my walk, then I will go to the gym instead. If I can't get all my projects done on time, then I will wake up 30 minutes earlier for the next few days to get caught up. Step 6, create accountability for your habit. It can be tough to feel like you're on your own when you're trying to develop a new habit. There's a phenomenon known as the Hawthorne effect, which states that you're more likely to follow through with a commitment when you're being observed by others. Maybe you've got a close friend or family member whom you trust. Maybe groups on social media with like-minded people are trying to develop similar habits. I'm a member of several groups like this on social media. Do they ever make fun of me or make me feel bad? No, they do not. They cheer me on. Find people like this in your life and do the same for others as they're working on developing their better habits. As the article states, simply knowing you will be held accountable for your habit keeps you focused and consistent. Step 7, reward important milestones. As you progress in developing your new habit, be sure to celebrate along the way. After your first week, your first month, whatever. Be sure to keep it appropriate, though. Don't celebrate the fact that you exercise 7 days in a row by eating a whole pie. And here's the part that I like the most. You can make it fun. Celebrate yourself as you make progress. It helps. Step 8, be sure to build a new identity for yourself, which is the difference between doing the habit each day and having it become part of who you are. James Clear often talks about something that he calls identity-based habits. The idea is that you can build a lasting habit by making it a reflection of who you are on the inside. Simply put, you need to believe the habit is part of what makes you a unique person. Really, it starts with a shift of your mindset. And with a new habit, reinforce this behavior by saying things like, I am the type of person who regularly enjoys this behavior or activity. As I said earlier, I will include the link to this article at the end of the video. It's really good. And we did have one more question submitted by you, and it is my favorite one. It's actually a multi-part question about my little brother, and he's also my canine co-author, Super Teddy. Teddy was born to a stray mama dog in the summer of 2009 in New Orleans, and he was rescued by a shelter and fostered by a local family. When he was old enough to travel, one of those really cool nonprofits transported him up to New England to be adopted. My wife Tina and her mom saw his tiny fuzzy face in an e-newsletter and drove all the way from northern Vermont, where they were living at the time, to southern Maine and officially made him part of the family. At the time, his name was Maximus, and I laughed when I saw him standing up in the palm of my hand and said, he's tiny. Maybe his name should be Minimus. Tina looked at him and said, he looks like a teddy, and the name stuck. Now, my mother-in-law spoiled him rotten, pimping him out with sweaters and enough toys to start her own doggy daycare. One day, he was running around with this sweater that looked like a cape, and I just started calling him Super Teddy. Some of you asked how Teddy was doing during our current situation. Other than his hair getting really long, his life hasn't changed that much. He knows when it's time to eat. He goes outside to do his business. He still hates the rain but loves the snow here in New England winters, which this year lasted until the late April. And he just loves people, although he doesn't get to go for an RIDE as often these days. And his favorite snack is squash, which his big brother Steve makes for him every 2 weeks. He even has his own little language that he uses to speak with friends just like you. And Super Teddy has something that he would like to share with you as well. If you go to the webpage, superteddymax.com, you'll see a place where you can get a free PDF download of his entire book. All 20 chapters from Bust Out of Your Crate, Super Teddy's top 20 tips for people to be as happy as dogs, as a special thank you for being here with us. So here we are, getting ready to wrap up this presentation. I would like to thank the Brain Injury Alliance of Arizona family for reaching out to me to be a part of your annual celebration. It's an honor and a privilege, and I sincerely hope that my message has resonated with you as you do your best to choose to find the positive in our current situation and beyond, even if you're staying safe in your harbor for now, plotting out your next adventures on the ocean. I hope you better understand the importance of developing your habits to create more positive moments of gratitude in your life. And I want to challenge you to write down just one positive thing about each day for the next 7 days. If it makes you happy, please keep going, and you've got a positive habit. And I hope that my little brother, Super Teddy, brought a smile to your day. And he and I both hope you enjoy his book. Please intentionally put the effort into the lessons that he shares there. Please do your best to stay connected, to remain positive, and please always choose to be a ray of hope for yourself and everyone around you. Be well.